Hi again. I feel like I haven't done one of these films for ages. I'm just back from California. I've been back a couple of days. Just going to try and brighten this a little bit. There you go. Um, yeah, I wanted to take a couple of weeks out and sort of realign myself physically, mentally, and spiritually, which I think I've done. Feel good. It's good to be back. Just getting back into the swing of things now. There's an 8 hour time difference between California and the UK. Um, so I'm just readjusting. But in these films, I wanted to share some of the things that I've learned. And I learned a lot just from going, just making the decision to go. A lot of things came up for me around that. On these films, I'm always talking about, for me, life is about experience. It's about having experiences. And getting as many experiences in as possible. You know, when people buy a car, a new car, for me, it's about having the experience of the new car. Once you've had it for a while, thanks Poonam. Poonam's just welcomed me back. Um, Life's about experience, and I wanted to go. I wanted to travel. We just did camping. We lived really basically. I had a fantastic experience. But like I said, I want to share some of the things that I learned on that journey. So I flew from Heathrow to Salt Lake City. At Salt Lake City, I changed and I got another flight from there to Sacramento. When I got to Sacramento, I was staying with Bill McDonald and his wife. And when I got there, Bill was waiting for me. We got in the car, and Bill's got a good sense of humour. And I noticed he was pointing everything out. And when I say everything, I mean everything. As he was driving along, he'd point out some wild flowers at the side of the road or some strange rock formation, or he'd be telling me what was in this field or that field. And to be honest, at first I thought he's got a good sense of humour, and I thought, is this guy trying to wind me up? You know, I can see the flowers, I can see the fields. But then after a while, I realised that he wasn't. It's just the way he is. You know, I teach, when I'm teaching my self-defense, one of the biggest parts of self-defense is awareness, being aware of the people around you and the situations. But Bill's levels of awareness were completely, he took them to a different level. He was aware of everything around him. You know, he was seeing things that I know I definitely do, and I'm guessing most of us do, just take for granted every single day. But I learnt quite quickly within 15, 20 minutes of being with Bill that he took nothing for granted, and he found, you know, something interesting and something good about everything. And I found that really fascinating. For me, it was about perception. But his perception was, you know, everything's interesting and everything's good. So I went from thinking this guy's trying to wind me up here and having a laugh to actually realising that he wasn't. He appreciated everything, the simple things in life. That's why I've called this little video clip "Enjoy the Simple Things in Life," because we're walking past things every day that we just take for granted. You know, I learnt from being with him again. It was almost like it was nothing new, but like I said, it was realigning, going back, and you know, if I've got somewhere to go, you know, I'll just put my head down and go. But when we were travelling around, I noticed, say for example, we were going somewhere like Lake Tahoe. We'd drive through all these old towns. They were like towns that I'd seen in Western movies years ago. And Bill would suddenly stop, and I'd be thinking, "What are you stopping for?" But we'd get out the truck, and you would walk through these little towns, and he'd stop and look at monuments. He'd always find something interesting. So another thing that came out of it for me, again, with just being for Bill for a short time, pretty much straight away, was how patient, you know, be patient. I know that I'm 100 miles an hour. If I've got something to do, I've got somewhere to go, I'm like, bang. Sometimes I annoy the people closest to me because they're telling me to slow down. Yeah, Rich has come on. It was amazing, Rich. I loved it. But I noticed when I was with him, we travelled for sort of 16 days. I started to slow down, take more things in. And that was really interesting for me as well. Stopping and slowing down is something that I haven't been really good at. So I guess what I'm saying here, the two things that I learnt from Bill straight away, I learnt a lot from being in his company, were, you know, about not taking things for granted, enjoying the simple things in life, there's beautiful things all around us. Sometimes there's an old saying about stop and smell the roses, which I'm guessing most of us don't. I quite often don't, so it's something that I'm going to change. And also be patient. You know, I'm quite patient when I'm working with people. I have to have patience in my work, but sometimes I'm not always patient with I'm not with myself and the closest people to me. So again, that's something that I've learned, and that's something I want to practice as well. So it's good to be back. Thanks for the messages, guys. It's good to be back. And like I say, I'm just letting a lot of things I've learned, I'm just letting them sink in, and then I want to share them in these films. I brought sunshine back with me as well. How good's that? So enjoy the rest of your day, enjoy the rest of your weekend, and hopefully catch up with you soon. Thank you. Finish.